Hello fellow rangers, welcome back to another video. Today we are back once again on the kit build series. Essentially now, as if you watched the last episode of the kit build series, you'll know, or if you're new, you'll know now that in this next couple of episodes we will be concentrating now on the 1/72 scale Messerschmitt bf110e troop. So yeah, I am. If just in case anyone out there knows any more, or I got some information on it at the moment, but I'm gonna ask you lot, even if you don't answer, is on this because this is the livery I'm going to go with. Is there any information on this particular aircraft? After I have found something, but it says it's a different type. It's saying it's not an E, it's saying it's a C or a D. So I want to make sure that that information is correct first before I go ahead and say on video that the airfix have gotten that wrong. So yeah, that's the bf110. Tells you something. I haven't even opened it yet, so that shows that I have been very, very patient and not looked at the parts. And I have gone out and bought the paint for the pilots, who we are going to call. That's a good point. What? Von Smallhausen, as in the rear gunner, and Herr Flick, the pilot. If you watch if you have ever watched Hello, you know who I'm talking about. If you have, then please put in the description in the comment section below one of the sayings that Herr Flick used to say to von Smallhausen. Right, we got both men there. They've been decapitated by the looks of it, and yeah, that's the air. Don't worry, that's just my air freshener. Yeah, they've both lost their arms. I don't know how, but we will return them to their arms now. Right. First, we've got to find them. Oh, wait. By chance, here it is. Side cutters. Only got their arms next to them. That's tidy. I have actually went out and bought the specific colours. As apart from one colour, because I couldn't get hold, it didn't have it in the shop at the time, which is Western Valley Models. Also go there to essentially support local businesses. Fair enough, Fair enough Hobbycraft is very, very good, but it's typical von Smallhausen to try to escape before we even rescue him. I hope I remember to make put a funny sound on that when. Right, that's his arm. One of his arms. By here is quite a small size. Yeah, it's not going to pick up properly on the camera because of its size. It's right, we got to essentially take both arms off here. Yeah, that's one arm. I was worried, concerned then, I thought I'd done something with it. Yep, that's so I don't get them mixed up, I'm just going to put them together now. But yes, so essentially the channel is doing very well at the moment. And yes, let me guess, this is going to want to be, yeah, it's... Right, is it going to... Yep, it will. It's just a little bit on the end. Right. Right, let's see if we can reattach von Smollerhosen's arms. Guessing in real life, obviously, would be a very complicated procedure. But right, let's see, is that correct? Yeah, that looks correct from there. So obviously we will need to let the glue dry first before we even think about painting them. I'm not having much luck with this glue. It's like, come on, there we are. I bet some of you out there going, why didn't you just paint the arms before putting them onto the bodies first? It's like, well, no, my luck, because the glue's Revell glue is that strong, it would probably end up taking the glue off the area where it touches, so it's just easier now. Right. Well, let's see. Yeah, it's... Whoop, hello, don't drop. It might... Quality might... If it doesn't work, pick up on the pictures. What I'll do is I'll just take photos of them before I paint them. And put them in, so we will put hair auto-afflicted back together, and then while we're waiting for them to dry, we will move on to the cockpit. Right, fellow Rangers, yes, I've managed to get it so that it'll show the detail of one of the figures using the paint pot to essentially for it to focus on. But yeah, this is one of the crew members. Probably hair auto flick. So right. And zoom. We'll stick to that. Yep. So yeah, you can see here all the paints that I've got to paint them. So right. While we're waiting for them to, the two men to have their arms dry before we paint them, because we'll get that done quite early, it is get the floor, pretty much interior of the cockpit done. So we'll move on to time lapse to get on with that. ocean untold, and as I await her. Right, fellow engineers, yes, pretty much we got the startings of the cockpit done, pretty much. We just got, what we'll do is, before we start even thinking about painting this, is we will do two more things which is required for the canopy, and that is D20 and D19. Right. It's called finding them first. I always find it a little bit difficult to find one or two bit items, but I don't. Oh, hello. D20. And now all we need now is D19. D19. Let's see. Aha! We found D19. Right, that goes on to, pretty much D19 goes on first. So that goes on to, if we can, that little dot thing that's sticking up there, this. That's I think that's essentially the base of the seat. Right, so we'll pop a little drop of glue there onto the. No, come on, use your head. That's it. There we go. That's the base of the seat on, and then on the top of the base of the seat then is, of course, the seat. The seat itself. But right, that needs just slightly adjustment, just to clean it up a little bit. I know people won't see it, but I like to know that it's done. And that's facing other way, so find small holes and doesn't have to keep watching, having hair flick of the stapler, watching his every move. Obviously that's not the names of the real pilots who crewed this aircraft. I'm not going to say that because, one, I don't know what they were named, and I'm not going to try to say that I know the names. But yeah, this is how far we've gotten regarding the cockpit so far. So right, we will move on now. We will allow that to dry. And we will have a little, because it will be, thanks to, not sponsored by this company, by Revell, but Revell, if you want to sponsor me, then by all means I am open to offers. Or even just supply with me with kits now and again, whichever, I'm happy. Right, we got, if it zooms in enough, let's see. Something tells me it's not going to do it without using the pot of paint. Because it'll focus on the letters, and then there we are. Right, we'll get on with the painting. You may not see much of the details as I'm painting it. Sorry, I am trying my best regarding that. I will try and find a way of doing it somehow easier in the future. But for now, let's crack on with some of the painting of Otto Fleck of the Gestapo. Right, fellow Rangers, we've got what essentially our crew members both painted up. Right, I'll just use this trick of getting the camera to focus on something else. Well, it's not working with that bottle. So, right, let's try the old. There we are. We got one of them. I think this is. I believe this is von Smallhausen. Well, fully painted up. So right, what we got to do now is pretty much essentially prepare the interior of the cockpit, which is this bit here. So right. Essentially, we gotta just paint all the inside of it. It won't be long before we will be adapting a little gap by here for the stand. For some reason, unlike normally, Airfix normally put a thing where you can put a stand on it, but this for this bf110, it looks like they haven't done that, which is not normal for them, and which puzzles me. But that's not a problem. We've done stands for aircraft in the past where they haven't said on the instructions where to put them. Right, that's one side done. Right, I hope everyone is doing well. Well, I have noticed no one answers that question, but that's the way it goes. And not many of you get this far into the video. Again, just how it goes. If you do, then fair enough, it is appreciated. If you're not, then fine. There we are. Right, we'll wait for this now to dry, and then when the cockpit is dried as well, we will start mocking it up for the stand, and then put the fuselage together, which will take a couple of seconds for you because obviously I'll edit it so it looks like it is only a few seconds, but in actual fact it is going to take an hour or so. So I'll see you. Well, you'll see me in a couple of seconds. I will see you in an hour.
Pieces, seems like love is blind. You're the light I can't put out, however hard I try. You'll be the one till the day.
Right, fellow Rangers, pretty much what we'll do now is, as the fuselage is essentially dried now, is we will cut the fuselage out of the sprues because it'll be easier for us to set up for the stands, because we essentially need to be able to put them together when to mock it up so that we know where it's gonna go without it possibly foiling anything. We've got our stands here, or our stand as I should say. He just bought another batch of them because of course the channel goes through a fair amount, so Airfix, if you want to support the channel or via kits and stands, please get in touch. Right, that's cut back there. That's the base. Right, what we do now is, obviously we haven't got the pilots, the crew members in their seats yet because of course, right, I went for the bigger stand just to play it safe, as I wasn't exactly sure. Especially with the wingspan of the bf110. Right, let's just double check quickly, is it, apart from the little hoop finger there, I think that is going to be the best place to put it. Right, let's see. We'll just go through a couple of steps ahead just to make sure there's nothing going to be good job we did. Yeah, that should be fine by there. No, actually, yeah, it should be fine there because we got by there simply because we've still got plenty of space before another parts. Yes. By here, we'll do it. And one of you are probably bound and wanted to ask, why have I got a pencil here? Now you can see why. Because that's where we want to essentially make our spot for the stand. So we'll just get this last bit of sprue off of fuselage because where it was attached to the sprue, of course, it's left a mark, left little bits. No matter how close you try to get the cutters to the fuselage, so that won't happen, you're always going to get something. Yes, I'm suffering with my tremors today. Right. There we are. Right, what we'll do is we've got an idea where we want this it, so we will now just get it so that there we are. That's that there. Exactly where we want it. Just to play it safe, it may have moved slightly from the original spot. Yeah, it has a bit. That's alright, that's not a problem. Right, we'll see how we can get on with this stand now, because we'll get it so that it's virtually there, and then when we put the fuselage together with our two who I can't see intrepid pilots because they're not. We can do the final adjustments then, because there won't be. Oh yeah, my tremor's definitely playing me up tonight. Yeah, it needs a little bit more, but essentially it's got the idea of it, so that's fine. And we'll do the final adjustments to that once the fuselage is together, because then we've got more leverage to where we actually want it. But for now, our two crew members, I think that's the nicest word to say about them, is that they're both dry. Sorry, it probably won't pick up as well, but I will take pictures, and this time I will remember to put them up on the screen. And so, right, we got we'll need a little dab of our Revell glue. Make sure it's, yep. Little blob on each seat. And then now it's time to and then also, I'm guessing, of course, von Smallhausen would be the rear gunner. Yep. They got slits in their backs, but there's no thing on there essentially for them to slot into, so that must be from another kit that Airfix has done. And so, right, that's our crew members in there. One last thing that we need to do is we got a water slide to go in there, and then that is that, and then pretty much we can get this into the fuselage. But I think we might put this in the fuselage first, simply because the fact that I have found that sometimes when you put in the fuselage together, the water slide tends to get ripped off, so we will do that first. Right, fellow rangers, we got the fuselage together, and I filed back this a little bit more, and it has fitted without any glue, which is nice. Is to be able to do. Pretty much, it's just as long as you get the rough idea where it needs to go. Normally you get it will just fly in and pretty much go from there. So yeah, we've still got the stand, of course, here. But for now, what we will do is, and we'll do this on camera, so like I said, to the ones that watch it this far, I'm doing it for you. The ones who don't watch it this far, you know. Right. Right. And I've done a little bit of forward step. Oops, damn, my tremors are so bad. Right. Right. As soon as I find those parts that I have painted already. Yep, here they are. these parts go into essentially in the top parts of the wings, because they are the undercarriage bays, and because we're having the undercarriage open, and I've painted these in advance so that that's one less thing to do. Right. So from the instructions, that appears to be how we go, like that. So that's fine. What we can do now is shall put a tad, because this is the underneath. No one's going to be going into the undercarriage bay, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Obviously we want plenty of glue on there so that it won't just pop straight off the second that we start trying to put any pressure on it. And that's like that, and then the other side, because essentially what the plan is, before the end of this episode, I'd like to have the fuselage together and the wings on. And then once we've got that far, we will essentially call it episode 1, because essentially then after that, we're going to have to do a lot more painting and whatnot, so it's just easier not to make too long of an episode, as we don't want people getting bored of the channel, or the videos at least. So they're glued on. All the holes have been drilled out already. Fuselage goes on as so. A little bit of adjustment may be needed because it's just not fitting in. We're at a fight here. Yeah, I just seen those gaps on there, so while we have the chance, we will deal with it. Come on, you want a fit in, don't you? Oh, damn it. Yeah, if you want the pro modeling tips, I'm not the channel for you. But if you want history and somebody who loves aircraft to watch that person build them, and then try to get the history of each aircraft, then yeah, that's essentially this is meant to go there, but for some reason it is not going in there, so I'll come back now in a moment, fellow rangers. Yes, brute force managed to get it in the end. And so that is that done. So yes, essentially before the end of this the end of this episode, we will get the top wings on, and then go from there after that. We got the undercarriage to do in the next video, as well as painting. And so we are going to be doing a fair old amount of work on the next video. Though I don't want to be doing too much in this video, simply because one, it's more content for me in the long run, and two, and so pretty much I'm getting more content out of one kit than I am if I'd done it all in one video. And it ends up then not being too long. My channel isn't that big like the other channels that can keep an audience there for watching long enough for me to do a full kit in a video. Right. That is the left side. Might have to need some filler on this by the looks of it, because I can't get that gap to close up anymore. And to my knowledge, the bf110 never had gaps by there. Hang on. Well, it's a bit late now. No, it isn't. It's not too late. I think I've seen what is the problem for Lone Rangers. Right. Right, let's try again. That's more like it. Von Smallhausen, get back to your post. Right, you can stay out your post. Yes. Now that's more like it. It's still going to need a little tad of filler just to get it so it reaches leveled with it, but hey, I'm calling that a win. Hang on. Oh yeah, of course. Bit of the top wing covers that bit, yeah. Right. Glue on top. On the... I've got to make sure I say this right, because it's bound to be someone in the comments section below who will say that it's wrong. Starboard, the top part of the starboard wing. Oh, nearly, come on. Right, we'll come back now in a moment for Lone Rangers.
On the street, find myself
that is it for episode 1. Yes, I did do a little bit more on a bf110 just because it was bugging me not doing it, so I thought, why not just do it. Of course, we've still got the engines to do and the undercarriage to do next before we go any further than obviously paint and stuff. But for now, that is it for this episode of the bf110. I hope you have all enjoyed it. I will admit to one thing, and that is the guns, the cannons by here. Yep, there they are. In the end, you meant on the instructions, you meant to put them in as that. I tried so many times to do it. I came close to losing all my hair, so in the end I just cut it off the little thing that they were on and just put them in manually. So it was just an absolute nightmare. So till the next time, my fellow Rangers, I hope you all take care, keep doing what you enjoy doing. And this is the Lone Ranger, signing out.